The Day in Tech History is sponsored by CashFly over at CACHEFLY.com, where you can host your podcast and get a 14-day free trial.
Jeffrey Powers here. I welcome you to the Day in Tech History, a full rundown of technology history 7 days a week. Subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, or download right from dayintechhistory.com. Now let's find out what happened on this day, your day in tech history.
November 16th. 1904, John Ambrose Fleming invents the vacuum tube, otherwise known as the thermionic valve. That valve consists of a carbon or tungsten filament lamp with a metal plate insulated from a filament and a wire through the glass wall of the bulb to a third terminal outside. In 1962, the IBM Data Processing Division announces the IBM 1062 Teller Terminal and the IBM 7710 Data Communication Unit. In 1965, the Soviet Union launches the Venera 3 space probe on a mission to land on the surface of Venus. In 1973, NASA launches the Skylab 4 with a crew of 3 astronauts from Cape Canaveral on an 84-day mission that would remain the longest American space flight in over 2 decades. In 1977, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is released to theaters, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Richard Dreyfuss. It went to 272 United States theaters and had a budget of $20 million, but grossed $5,379,460. It was rated PG and ran for 2 hours, 17 minutes. In 1984, USA Today launches one of the earliest electronic news syndication services, USA Today Update, for business news summaries around Data Times, Genie, Minitel, Thesaurus, and Trintex, among others. In 1992, Comdex featured about 2,000 companies in booths, around 145,000 people that attended. AMD, at that time, demonstrated its 50 MHz 8486 processor. Its 100 MHz, IBM demonstrates its 100 MHz Blue Lightning 486 processor. Trident announces the Storm Graphics accelerator chips for ISA, MCA, or VL bus graphics cards. And Microsoft releases version 1.0 of the Microsoft Access database program for Windows, $99. In 1998, 3DFX Interactive unveils the Voodoo 3 chipset, and iOmega announces the Zip 250 drive, which features an external SCSI or parallel port connection that can read and write both 100 megabyte and 250 megabyte cartridges. $199 for the drive, and $17 for the 250 megabyte cartridges. Also in 1992, AMD releases the AMD K6-2 processor, speeds of 366, 380, and 400 megahertz. They had bus speeds of 66 to 100 megahertz, and they went from $187 to $283.
If you love the Day in Tech History, then I encourage you to join my Patreon movement over at patreon.com/geekazine. Your contribution keeps the lights on and more Day in Tech History episodes available. Pledge as little as $1 a month or $12 a year for 365 days of podcasts. Add to that all the content from geekazine.com, morninggeeks.com, and other shows that I produce. That's over at patreon.com/geekazine. Now let's get back into your day in tech history.
In 2000, ICANN selects 7 new top-level domain names: the .arrow, .biz, .coop, .info, .museum, .name, and .pro top-level domains. Also in 2000, Yahoo launched Yahoo Canada in French. 2001, Los Angeles, California, U.S. Custom agents seize $100 million in pirated computer software. It was the largest seizure in U.S. history as part of Operation Whitehorse. 2002, Bandai releases the Swan Crystal handheld game console, which featured a 3072 MHz 16-bit NEC V30MZ clone, 64 kilobytes of VRAM, a 2.8-inch diagonal TFT reflective LCD screen, and came in one of 4 colors. 2005, Aurora Spark releases Build 2.0 Beta 2 of the Aurora Spark Linux operating system. The European Space Agency launched 2 commercial satellites using the Ariane 5 ECA rocket, which achieved the 10th successful launch in a row for the Ariane 5 series. And the United States government had won its fight to keep supervisory authority over the Internet through its contractor, ICANN, despite opposition from many nations. 2008, Adobe launches a 64-bit version of Flash for Linux workstations. And in 2010, Apple announced the Beatles library would be available on iTunes. Tracks would cost $1.29, albums would cost $12.99, and double albums would be $19.99. The special Beatles box set was also available for $149 on iTunes. And of course, the Day in Tech History is also available on iTunes, and it's absolutely free. But if you go over to www.dayintechhistory.com, you can get all the shows there too. So we'll be back in 24 hours with another Day in Tech History. Of course, if you want to go over on Twitter and follow me there, it's Day in Tech Hist. And of course, all the show notes are up on the wiki page. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you tomorrow. And that's your Day in Tech History. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.dayintechhistory.com. All the show notes are over at wikizine.com, Geekazine's wiki. And of course, you can like the Facebook page and follow Twitter at Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. Day in Tech History is copyright 2015, JMP Enterprise and Geekazine.com.